Hello and welcome back. This is Pastor John. I'm joined by Melissa today. We are going to be beginning our Advent book study today on J.D. Greear's Searching for Christmas. Hopefully some of you were able to pick this up off of Amazon and then are following along with us and everything. This week we're just going to talk about the first two chapters. So the first chapter, just as a quick reminder, was specifically talking about Jesus as a gift. This concept, to read a quick quote from the book, that Christians believe that the heart of Christmas and of life is one particular present, God's gift to us of a baby. And of course, J.D. Greear had a pretty entertaining story about a fluffy white neck warmer that he bought as an example for that. But so what did you think of this chapter, Melissa? What did you...
I thought it was a really good way to open up the book. It really grabbed the reader in. Like you said, the story was relatable and interesting, and I think we've all been there in those situations where we've had to think on our feet, and in that sense. So I thought it was very relatable and a very good opening to the book.
Yeah, I thought it really tied in well with the point that he was trying to get across, which is a good point, which is of this idea that in Christmas, which this book is all about, what is kind of the meaning of Christmas and what is its message for us in today's world. That, Jesus is this gift, and what kind of gift is he? So with that in mind, Melissa, what kind of present do you think Jesus is?
I think he's the greatest present anyone can receive. He's the gift of love. He's the gift of hope. He's the gift of peace. He's the gift of joy. I think he's a present that our world needs. And in our moments of hurting, I think he's a present we can turn to. And in our moments of happiness, he's a present we can celebrate with.
Right. Yeah. I think like something that that kind of strikes me, and JD talked about this in this book, there's the anticipation that comes with getting gifts, especially when you're younger. But then also how as you grow older, you get to really enjoy the giving of gifts as well. And so when I kind of think of the type of present that Jesus is, I do think that he is that really, the good type of present, the present that when you open it up, you're happy about, you're excited about. But I think it's even beyond that to a degree. I don't think anybody has ever received a gift that they would consider to truly be life-changing. I mean, okay, well, maybe there are some people out there who've they've gotten a gift. I don't know that they're like, well, my career started where I got a gift as a chemistry set as a kid, and now I'm the world famous chemist. I'm sure there's somebody out there who can say that, and maybe has, but generally, when you get a present on Christmas, especially when you're young, it's not one of those life-changing types of gifts. And so, the kind of the hope that Jesus brings, the kind of transformation in his life that he brings, and it all starts with Christmas with that. So with that in mind, what do you think this gift means to us? What is the gift of Jesus means to us on our day-to-day life?
I think it means everything. I think it's just all-encompassing. He's, the Prince of Peace. He's a wonderful counselor. He's an eternal Father. He overall is as a gift embellishes everything. Like I said, he brings joy and hope and peace and love and comfort.
Yeah, and you brought up the wonderful counselor, and that is the focus of the second chapter. He's taught. J.D. Greear goes into about how Jesus is a wonderful counselor. He even goes through, talking about what that sort of means. How it's more than just we typically think of it a lot of times when you hear the word counselor as being something involving therapy, involving psychosis issues within your head and stuff, but it's actually more than that, and it has kind of a different meaning and sort of background for that. And I think it is kind of important to sort of keep this in mind. So I guess a good question to ask then is, how has Jesus been a wonderful counselor for you?
I think, one example is in the darkest moments of my life thus far. I'm only 32, so I won't feign to pretend that, bad stuff won't still happen. But in those moments, I've been able to turn to him and the word and just the knowledge that he's there and he loves me, and that has helped. Just that knowledge has helped. That someone is out there that cares for me and knows me and knows every deep, dark secret within me and knows every wrongdoing I've ever done, and he still loves me. I think, as someone who's in, routine therapy, I kind of agree with the book, whereas, my therapist, she just mirrors most of what I say, and she tries to help me work through it. But Jesus is a different type of counselor, and that having him as well in my life has helped me see that, there's hope in the bad, and sometimes there's sad in the good, but it's really helped.
Yeah, I'm going through kind of the process for kind of getting sort of officially licensed or getting a sort of an official credential within the United Methodist Church. And part of it has been conversations with our pastor here at Timonium United Methodist Church, our head pastor. And we were having a conversation today about what is God's what does God's calling kind of look like in your life, or what does God's direction in your life look like, and trying to describe that in sort of imagery. And for me, that, as I kind of described it, is the image I always have in my mind is as if God is being this kind of this hand sort of guiding me. I described it as a disembodied hand, but as we talked about, it's really not a disembodied hand. It's more of a fourth dimensional being reaching into a third dimension. It complicated, I know. That's how these conversations go between me and Pastor Chris. But I bring that up because I think when I think of Jesus as a counselor, I think of him in that kind of context, in more than just trying to deal with my hurts, my hang-ups, my issues within my own private life and everything, being more of just a guiding force, being somebody who, is willing to not just tell me what I need, what I want to hear, but what I need to hear, and pushing my life in a direction that I can't even really fathom for myself. So, that relying on him in that sort of way has been something that for my own walk of faith has caused difficulty, but also has been very rewarding and something that I very much appreciate. So with that, this is going to just end our discussion for this week. I will see you next week when we talk about chapter 3 and chapter 4.